Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to come on here and talk about some of the news that came out today around the MLB. Unless you're kind of living under a rock, I'm sure you've already heard that the MLB came out today and announced that in 2023 we're going to have quite a few significant rule changes that overall I'm pretty excited about myself. I think it's going to be a good change for the game and it's going to engage fans a little bit more. It's going to open up the offense a little bit more, etc., etc. Let's just jump into it. There's pretty much three big rules that the MLB came out and announced. So I just put some notes up here. You're not necessarily supposed to be able to read it, but it's more for me to be able to talk about. But I think overall, the biggest rule change coming into effect, well, probably two pretty big ones, but number one, the pitch timer. So pitchers on the mound are going to have a timer ticking away on them. They got to speed up their play. They no longer are going to be able to stall it out, wait 45 seconds between pitches. It's going to be 15 seconds when the bases are clear, nobody on base, so they're going to have 15 seconds from when they get the ball to throw the next pitch or at least start their windup. And if there's somebody on base, it's going to be 20 seconds. So if they violate this rule, take a little bit longer, it's going to be an automatic ball for the batter. At the same time, batters only have 30 seconds between at bats, I guess. The best way to explain it is so a guy gets out, the next batter has 30 seconds to get up to the plate. If he breaks that rule, he's going to get an automatic strike against him. So a little bit interesting. One big thing here is that if a pitcher steps off to try to make a pickoff attempt or throws it to make a pickoff attempt, it does restart the timer, but to kind of combat that, they only get 2 attempts. And if they do a third attempt, if they don't get the guy out on the pickoff attempt, so you can do a third attempt and get him out and you're okay. But if you don't get him out, he's going to automatically get to advance the base. So I'm assuming most of this is going to happen at first base. You go for your third attempt, you don't get him, he's going to automatically go to second base. It's going to be pretty interesting. Of course, this is going to be a couple things impacted here. The pitchers aren't going to have enough time to really make drastic changes in between pitches. That's okay if, as a Blue Jay fan, watched a lot of Mark Boulay, whatever, I'm pronouncing that wrong, but he was pretty strong at throwing the pitches constantly. So there's that. At the same time, it's gonna probably, and it's shown this in AAA, it's gonna increase stolen bases. It's gonna increase attempts, and it's gonna increase success rate of stolen bases. So I think that's pretty exciting. Stolen bases is one of those things that's kind of not been as important. It feels like over the past 5-10 years as it used to be in the past, so I think I'm pretty excited for that. I'm just going to show a quick example here of something that's been kind of circulating around. We got this one pitcher. They have him when he's in AAA and he's focused on the pitch timer. You can see him after a couple pitches here. Basically, he has a little bit of a few seconds difference, but then by the fifth or sixth pitch, it's a drastic difference, and it's the same pitcher just in the 2 different leagues, and it goes to show how much of a difference it can make. I think over the course of them testing it in AAA, it's something like 27 minutes that it has been saving per game. So I'm pretty excited about that rule. It's going to speed up the game, of course. That's always been the biggest complaint out there, especially from Rob Manfred. So I don't think it's a bad rule personally. Let me know what you guys think about this rule down in the comments below. Moving along, this one's probably the biggest one overall. It pretty much changes the strategy of baseball, and it's the elimination of the shift. Essentially, they're calling it shift limitations, but basically it's no more. You're no longer going to be able to have 3 infielders on one side of the field and a big open hole on the other side of the field. We all know how that's it's killed a lot of batters, definitely a lot of the power batters that are home run or out, basically. It's gonna hopefully help them. So all infielders' feet are gonna have to be on the dirt. They're gonna no longer be able to have a deep guy in the field as well as being shallow. On the contrary, you can bring in extra people, so outfielders can come in the infield and you can technically have more. The only situation that kind of comes up is in the 9th inning when there's a run on third and they're just going to win the game or they're going to get out, that kind of situation. So that's not going to mean too much, but you can no longer have a 4th outfield at all under any circumstance. So again, these rules are coming into effect next year, 2023. And this one was kind of interesting. So defenders can no longer switch sides either. So if you have a lefty and a righty at bat, there has been circumstances where the better defender would go to the side that the batter was more likely to hit on. So just for example, you got Bogarts at shortstop, gets guy out, he can no longer go to the other side during that same inning to defend against a guy that's batting on the left side. So that kind of thing, kind of interesting. It's going to be big. I think this is, again, MLB making some changes that are really going to help offense overall. Speed of game, but offense. Everyone wants to watch baseball. They want to see home runs, but they also want to see offense, not necessarily coming from home runs. And of course, the shift is really going to make a big difference for some of these batters. Their averages were terrible. So we're going to see, I think, an increase in averages, of course, over the next couple of years when they implement this. And then the last third change that they announced today, not really as big of a deal. They're increasing the size of the bases. Got a little photo here showing that. They're going from 15 inches square to 18 inches. Now, it's going to make somewhat of an impact. Again, we talked about the stolen bases on the pitch timer. There's going to be more bag to grab on a stolen base. The whole reason for this is supposed to be player safety, break down less collisions, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, it is going to increase a little bit. It's a little bit thicker, so technically the distance between the two bases are going to be the same, or are going to be a little smaller. So there's going to be that. But overall, these are the three big announcements that came out today. Again, if you're probably already know this if you're on a baseball channel, but my opinion, I just want to throw it out there. I do think they're good changes for baseball, and I don't see really the harm in doing it. I definitely agree with the shift. It's kind of annoying when you have that power bat or that strong batter that just rips it, but there's always just a sea of guys on the side. It's kind of taken away from what baseball is about. I guess it's technically before you could put 9 players any which way defense. It really brought analytics into it, but I like the idea of going back to like old school. Like you got a shortstop on the shortstop, second base on the second base, and the pitch timer. I think it's necessary. Let's get these games sped up. I think that's the biggest complaint, especially when bringing in new fans and bigger bags. What harm can that really do? So overall, I'm pretty excited for these changes. Let me know what you guys think of the changes. Is there something specific I might have left off about the changes that might change your opinion or change other people's opinion? Let it know in the comments below. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys for that next video.